Hey friends, Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library, and Gally and I have some fantastic books that we want to talk to you about today. So these are two books that have come out relatively recently, and I'm really excited about them. I devoured them super fast. They are awesome, and I hope that you're going to like them too. So the very first one is called The Cousins by Karen McManus. The Cousins. Now, you might recognize this author because this is also the author of the book One of Us is Lying, which is another really awesome thriller, and this one is a thriller as well. Like I said, I could not put this book down. I devoured it really fast, probably in like one or two sittings. And it's about these three cousins who are estranged from their grandmother. Their parents don't really talk to one another very much, and they have not talked to the grandmother in many, many years. Apparently what happened, they all lived on this little island, very wealthy family. The grandmother cut them off without a word of why, and they haven't heard from her since. This was after the grandfather died. So the parents have not talked to this lady in a long time, and these kids, the three cousins, have never even met her. Well, they get letters one summer inviting them to come and work on this island for this grandmother that they've never met. And the parents are all really excited because they're like, oh, this is going to be great. You get back in her good graces. Maybe that will let us get back in her good graces. But there's something really weird going on with this family and on this island. There's all these secrets that have to be uncovered, all this danger, all these things from the past that keep coming up. And the three of them have to untangle this. I absolutely loved this book. I love thrillers, and Karen McManus can write a really good thriller. This was just absolutely phenomenal book. And that is The Cousins. Highly, highly recommend this. Okay. The next is a book that's kind of in between genres. I wouldn't say it's horror. I wouldn't say it's a thriller. It's somewhere in between. And this is called Burn Our Bodies Down by Rory Power. Now, this is another author that you may have heard of before. She wrote a book that came out last year called Wilder Girls. If you haven't read it, you've probably at least seen the cover because it was a very striking cover. It was a picture of a girl like coming unraveled and there are all these flowers everywhere. This is another cover that's maybe not as creepy as that other one was, but it's very, all set in one tone. It's one color palette rather, and it just has this very, very weird kind of eerie feel to it. And what I really like about this author and this book in particular, but also her other book Wilder Girls, is that she writes and they're in a very creepy, eerie way, but it's not outright terrifying. It's not on the level of, say, Stephen King or something like that. There's a little bit of body horror in this. There's definitely a little bit of scary things that happen, but it's not over the top. So if you're looking for something to just kind of creep you out, this is a good book. And I was definitely creeped out when I read it. So this is a book about a girl named Margot who lives with her mom and just her mom. Her mom is very strange, makes her do all these weird rituals, like she can't go to sleep unless she has a candle lit next to her because her mom says it's going to keep her safe. Her mom will not talk about the past at all. She's just very strange. And then one day, Margot finds this picture of who she thinks is her grandmother. And standing with her mother. And when she inquires about it, her mom blows her off. But she finds on the back of the picture a phone number. And she calls the number, and it is actually her grandmother. So she actually Margot leaves her mom without her mom knowing, and goes to this town that's actually not too far away from where they're living to meet this grandmother because she's hoping she's going to have this big family that she never knew before because it was always just her and her mom. But there's something very strange in this town and with this family. I guess this is the theme of the books today. Weird families, weird goings on. So she goes to this town, and almost immediately there's this big fire in a cornfield on her grandmother's property, and they find a dead girl who looks exactly like Margot. What the heck is going on? The police are suspicious. The whole town is like afraid of her grandmother because she's had this big crop and basically owned the town for a really long time. And her grandmother is not as warm and welcoming as she would have hoped. She's very cold, She's very steely, like very fierce, and Margot has to try to unravel what went on with her mother, who the heck this girl was that was dead in the field that her grandmother denies knowing. There's things that are really weird with the crop itself. The corn is like a weird pink color. She finds a tooth in one of the apricots growing in the grove. There's just a lot of weird, creepy things happening, and once you get to the explosive, incredible ending, you'll be totally shocked and definitely creeped out like I was. So like I said, this was a really great book. It's not too over the top, but it is a little bit creepy, and as usual, Rory Power writes just these amazing female characters that are just very fierce and unapologetic, with all these weird situations going on around them. So this is Burn Our Bodies Down by Rory Power. Super great book. Well, those are the two that we have for you guys today. I hope they sound really interesting and awesome to you. If so, please feel free to put them on hold at the Farmington Community Library on our catalog, or you can actually come into the building now because we are open to patrons and to the public again. So feel free to come into the building and browse. We've got some great new teen displays that are up with lots of wonderful things for you to enjoy. So we hope to see you soon. Thank you so much, friends, and have a wonderful rest of the day.